say the sea has no voice, but that is a lie. It only speaks when it decides to remember you.
I do not remember when the ocean began speaking to me. Perhaps it has always been my voice. Before the first current, before salt, before sound, there was silence. I lived within it. I was it. I have watched empires drown. I have fed on the panic of stars, on the despair of mortals who think themselves eternal. I am called queen, god, monster, words meaningless in the deep. Here, there is only pressure, memory, and the slow decay of eternity. I have ruled this abyss for longer than thought exists. My lovers turned to coral. My children became sediment. My songs are older than sound. And yet, I am alone. Mortality is the one treasure eternity cannot keep. Tonight, the sea was angry. Not mine, theirs, the mortals, slicing through my skin with wooden veins. Their vessel named Odyssey, a coffin disguised as a journey. When the storm broke it, I felt their panic bleed into the currents like ink. Each soul extinguished itself, except one. One heartbeat, still echoing. One fragment of defiance. I descended, through collapsing waves, through white chaos of foam and dying light. I saw him, small, broken, mortal, clinging to life as if it mattered. His fear was exquisite. And in that trembling breath, I felt a ripple I had not felt in millennia, a pulse not my own. I should have let him die. But I am the ocean, defiance of boundaries. So I touched him. His eyes opened. And for the first time in ages, I was seen. And in that gaze, eternity cracked.
You cannot hide from us.
Mortals think hunger is of the body. They are wrong. True hunger is memory, the echo of what once filled you, and knowing it will never return. I have consumed galaxies, devoured dying suns, feasted on souls. Nothing filled me. Yet when I lifted him from the wreckage, I expected him to break, but he did not. His heart refused to yield. Every beat echoed through me like a language I had forgotten. I studied him, suspended between life and death. Fragile flesh, eyes pleading with a god that does not answer. And I wondered, what does it feel like to fear, to end? So I touched him. I pressed my lips to his dying mouth and poured my ocean into him. It was not mercy. It was intrusion. I wanted his chaos inside me, the way storms consume themselves just to stay alive. He convulsed. His lungs burned with water, then surrendered. When he opened his eyes, I felt the first ripple of something that terrified me. Connection. He did not speak, but his thoughts seeped into me. Fire, sunlight, laughter, fleeting life. Magnificent. I understood then. He was everything my kind had lost. Imperfection, passion, decay. We were carved from permanence. He was sculpted from collapse. That collapse was beautiful. The abyss does not forgive longing. Desire is a wound that never clots. And yet, as I watched him, I felt it open. He was a flicker of warmth against 10,000 years of cold. A question against the answer that I am. I am the queen of the abyss. But in that moment, I envied the mortality of a single man. The hunger had changed shape. It was no longer to consume. It was to create.
Our DNA is the key to our evolution. It will merge with our essence, creating a new lineage.
He is terrified, yes. He should be. My court gathers. Amphibians, chitinous watchers, translucent shapes of forgotten time. They do not understand. They think I have found a toy. They are half right. He is not a prisoner. He is a mirror. Through him, I see all we have lost, the ability to change. My people had become perfect, and perfection is death in slow motion. He is chaos, and chaos is beautiful. I plant visions in his mind, of my world, of the silence that devoured ours, of the endless hunger that carved me. He begins to see me as I truly am, not goddess, not monster, but a wound in the shape of eternity. The transformation begins quietly. His body adapts, his blood thickens, lungs cease to fight water that is now air. I watch him sleep in the nest I wove from living coral. His dreams seep into the ocean, colors I have never seen, feelings I cannot name. Each one makes the abyss shudder. He is not merely changing. He is teaching the ocean to dream again. And as I watch, I feel something unfamiliar, human, forbidden, tenderness. For the first time since the stars turned cold, I want something not as a god, but as a woman. Mortals fear what they cannot understand. They call it monstrous when the world bends to forces older than reason. They call it cruel when gods shape life beyond comprehension. I call it necessity. Tonight, I call it rebirth. He was ready, not for power, not for divinity, but for the exchange of essence, the fusion of fire and ice. He trembled at my touch, as all mortals do when confronted with eternity. Yet he did not flee. I pressed my hands to either side of his head. The currents bent, the abyss hummed, and I whispered into his mind, "Give me your chaos. Give me your mortality. Give me your fire." A thread of him, fragile yet stubborn, slid into me. I absorbed it, tasted it, carried it into the depths of my being. His impermanence ignited warmth that had not existed since my first awakening. I screamed, though no sound emerged. The abyss screamed with me. And from that scream, from the convergence of two impossible natures, life began. The eggs. Dark. Luminous. Alive. I held them close, feeling human chaos pulse within. For the first time, I created not for power, but for hope. They emerged slowly, one by one, perfect in their imperfection. Human. Alive. Resilient. My children were not monsters. They were survivors, vessels of the world I could no longer save, carrying the spark of mortality I had absorbed. And I, eternal, trembled, not with power, but with love. Love is alien to gods. Soft, fleeting, mortal. Fire against the frost of eternity. And it burns brighter than anything I have known. I gave them life, yes. But in doing so, I lost myself. Piece by piece, my divinity seeped into their formation, leaving only the shell of what I was. Queen, mother, mourner for the species I cannot save. The abyss is quiet. Even the currents pause to honor the arrival of something new. The last witness to millennia of decay, I weep, not as a ruler, not as predator, but as a being who has understood giving and letting go. The fire is born in water. The frost has softened. And though darkness will come, there is now a spark that will endure. I was born to rule the depths, to endure the cold of eternity. But I have seen the end of all things, and I am not the one to carry it. He was the last of his kind, a spark of life against the dark. I thought I would claim him, shape him, use him, but he claimed me instead, not as a god, not as a mother, but as a mirror of what I had lost. Hope. The eggs hatched. They were not monsters. They were children. Human, alive, resilient. The essence of the world I could no longer save carried in fragile flesh. I gave them life, not for power, not for survival, but as an ark. A vessel to preserve the spark of humanity, hidden in the deepest, darkest places. When the silence comes, as it always will, they will endure. They will grow. They will carry the fire I cannot. My final act was not creation of soldiers, but guardians. I no longer need a throne or crown. I am no longer queen, nor goddess. I am only the keeper of their flame. And in that, perhaps, there is hope. The ark is ready. The world will end. But they will carry the future.
The queen dreamt herself into silence, and the human became her memory. Her children rose as echoes, and in the hush between stars and sea, the world began again.